here in game 2. HaedOri's at the top left, and OversKy's at the top right. Now, right now, I think both of these players are in a lot of, well, they're in let me rephrase that, actually. They're just in a very new setting, all right? For one player, this is their first time playing in a pro match. For the other player, it's his first time on GOM TV. Actually, for both of them, it's their first time on GOM TV. Pretty standard placement. By the way, we are notifying the tech people right now about the sound issue. So we'll get that figured out pretty soon here. We did do a mic test like normal, so I don't know why that was the case. Now I think, well, lucky for the Protoss actually, he's going to get inside the Zerg base right away. It feels really good when you're a Protoss player and you spot the Zerg right away, because otherwise you're forced automatically to get a forge first, and then you may find out that your opponent hatched on 12 and a cannon rush is impossible. So Protoss is probably feeling pretty good right now. And here we're going to see HaedOri be aggressive with that probe. You always want to be aggressive with that probe, but you don't want to let that probe take too much damage.
Alright guys, I just got back. I ran back there to let the tech team know about the sound issue. GOM TV working for you, even in the middle of live stream.
Even in the midst of chaos. Okay, now we're going to see Nexus first. And he does that because he can see that his opponent's going hatchery first. You know, it's interesting. When I see a lot of people who are unfamiliar with StarCraft, and they try to do the Protoss Fast Expand, they don't understand that it is entirely based on what you're seeing the Zerg do. There's a whole bunch of different orders you get on these buildings. Like, normally you'll see him get, or many times you'll see him get a forge before the gateway, but right now he sees the timing of the spawning pool. He knows he can get the gateway out earlier. Now, what does that mean? That means that he'll also be able to get his cybernetics cord out earlier, which ultimately means he'll get his Stargate out earlier. All right, here comes the third hatchery for the Zerg. And I think, well, pretty standard opening for the Zerg. The Protoss is in pretty good shape.
Now, I recall, just from watching all these Protoss play on this map, they probably will go for a Stargate. Do you think we'll see any Reavers on this?
You know, it's possible that we'll see Reavers. Corsair Reaver is not all that bad on this map because you have an island. If you have an island on a map, it's never a bad idea to go Corsair Reaver, depending on the architecture of the map. But generally, it's never a bad thing. And, you know, because of that, we have a fork in the road where the Protoss gets to pick which opener he's going to do. And in case you're wondering why it's a good idea to go Corsair Reaver on maps with islands, it's really easy to defend the island with the shuttle and the Reaver. And of course, if you get the shuttle, well, it's really easy to take that island early. Well, Zerg is going to expand again. Now, this is, I would say, not completely risky, but he has to make sure that he can hold that expansion in the front of his base. It looks like the Protoss player is going to try to sneak around any scouting units with this Zealot, which we see on the mini-map. We actually see the probe there. Transferring 3 drones, the 4th hatch is there. And Protoss is going to be teching pretty soon here. Yeah, there's the Stargate. Now that's going to be a pretty early Stargate. And Zerg's going to have to deal with that somehow. Zerg's going to have to slow down drones or Zergling production to get either a Hydralisk Den. Sometimes you see Zerg players get the Evolution Chamber. I think with the number of expansions that Zerg has right now, the Evolution Chamber would be a bad idea.
I was talking with one of the Korean commentator guys in the back earlier, and I was like, you know, tell me something about OversKy. I can tell the public. And he's like, well, the guy loves drones. He goes, of all the Zerg players he knows, he makes the most amount of drones. I don't even know how to count these from every game they know. He goes, Tell him, you know, this guy's a drone lover.
He's a drone lover. You heard it here. You can see, the Protoss is trying to get a better idea of what his opponent's doing. I'm surprised he sent out that extra probe. And yeah, it looks like we are going to see Corsair Reaver here with that Robo Bane. I'm surprised Protoss is sending out another probe. Is he not going to just get a Corsair and scout with this? What is he doing? That's just really weird. All right, there's another hatch coming up here. And it looks like now the Zerg has finally left his base with some Zerglings, so he's going to send that Zealot in there to counterattack. That's always a really smart move Protosses can do. I mean, the counterattack because he really does want to take out as many drones as possible. And here he is. You can see this. These drones are pretty much undefended. There's probably about maybe a little bit under 5 seconds of free time for this Zealot to take out. Oh, how did that drone get away? But you can just see, yeah, OversKy's control is just so good. And here's the Corsair, which came only seconds after the Zerg wasted a probe. All right, the shuttle's on the way, presumably. And Aspire is as well. Well, both players are in pretty good shape right now. The one Overlord that was left in that main is going to be picked off, and it does indeed look like we're going to see a heavy amount of Corsairs in combination with a few Reavers during this game.
상대의 욕심으로 드랍이라든 혹은 커서의 움직임을 좀 견제를 해주고 방어를 해주면서 자신은 좀 업그레이드가 잘 되어 있는 지상 영역 위주의 어떤 그런 체제를 선택할 수도 있을 것 같고요.
The Corsairs are moving in now. Bisu is probably the most famous Protoss player when it comes to Corsairs. He really figured out how to dominate Zergs with Corsairs, and actually shifted the metagame of StarCraft a little bit. Corsairs were used, obviously, before, but people never saw such domination with Corsairs until Bisu came along. Double Robo, so this is not going to be one of those Corsair Reaver builds where we just see the Zealots come in later on with legs. Sometimes you can force the Zerg. We're seeing some Overlord harassment here as well, by the way. And Overlord speed just finished. That's going to be good for OversKy. You should be able to maneuver the Overlords around. Except for that one. What is this one doing? Okay, so as I was saying, sometimes you can go Corsair Reaver off one Robo and basically force your opponent into a situation where they're making nothing but Hydralisks to deal with the deal with the Corsair Reaver, and then all of a sudden a whole bunch of Speed Zealots come out here and run your Hydralisks over with the Reavers. But in this case, it looks like our Protoss is going to go for a different tech, a less common one. It's just straight up hardcore Corsair Reaver. He'll probably get Disruption Web later on. Now, I question if this build will be as strong on a map like Andromeda. You usually want to do builds like this on maps where there's a lot of really small nooks that you can drop your Reavers in and then put a blanket of disruption webs around them. Meanwhile, the Reavers can just attack freely. The Hydralisks don't have the range to get in there and do any damage. Now we're seeing the probe get sent to the island. Zerg using Bro. Now, I really like that about OversKy right now. He's going to be using Bro. Now, one thing about Corsair Reaver is that they usually do not have observers with the Corsair Reaver. So, when they fly into an area, they're not going to know if they're actually flying over a bunch of Broed Hydralisks, which means you can usually pop out of the ground and shoot down those shuttles before the Reavers even get out. Now, I think, we're seeing another scouting probe. I'm impressed that we're seeing so many scouting probes when our player has so many Corsairs. I suppose the only explanation for that would be that our Protoss player needs to keep the Corsairs at the island and prevent a possible drop. Okay, so how does this map, like you said about the island and such, benefit each player at this point of the game right now? Well, our Zerg player is going to benefit in the middle of the map because it's so open. He can get some great Hydralisk flanks. A Corsair Reaver can be a nightmare for Zergs to deal with if the map has a ton of little valleys and the Hydralisk can't get a good surround. The Protoss player is going to have the benefit of securing the island assuming that Zerg doesn't stop it very soon here. But other than that, not too terribly much. Both players get the opportunity to turtle pretty hard here, getting all these expansions in their mains. So that's mostly how the map impacts this. There's a fleet beacon for the disruption web. Looks like Protoss is on the move. Now, one thing about this build with Corsair Reaver, you really cannot afford to lose the shuttles with the Reavers. You can lose a Corsair here and there, but man, if you lose the shuttles, I mean, you've just wasted your entire time getting these Reavers because now you don't have a ground army. And it looks like he is going to manage to get over here. Now, those Reavers are going to be fully upgraded. He's going to be upgrading those Reavers non-stop this game. And he's going to be able to deal a lot of damage. He's going to try to take out the hatch before the Hydralisks get there. And he's going to have to get out of there. Cannot afford. Oh, my God. That's what I'm talking about. You cannot let that happen. OversKy has a big lead now. I can't believe he let his opponent do that. Usually when you're doing this build, you want to send a Corsair out to the entrance so you get a better idea of how many Hydralisks are coming. I think he really wanted to just get the hatchery and leave, but it didn't quite work out like that. And he has a lot of Reavers still. Although he really should have transferred probes to that island before he started flying around the map. Well, OversKy is in pretty good shape right now. And I think he should. Well, he's in the greater. Excuse me, was that a greater spire morphing back there? I could be mistaken. We'll find out a little bit, and I'll get back to that. But either way, OversKy's in really good shape. In my opinion, I don't know why more people don't do this, is why do Zergs not just get queens and get ensnare against this? Because if you just slow down the shuttles, your Hydralisks will always catch up to them. I mean, you only need maybe 1 or 2 queens. I mean, when you consider how many Scourge are being invested here by the Zerg player. Oh, there is a queen. Oh, ballin'. Me and OversKy are on the same wavelength. Okay, he's got 2 spires, so he's going to go for some very heavy air units here. Yeah, if he just ensnares those, then this whole strategy, it gets stifled. Oh, he's going to get ready for a trap. Oh, man, this guy's about to get punked. Oh,
my God, no.
He doesn't know. He has no idea.
Oh.
Fortunately, he just happened to fly over the wrong area. By the way, where the hell is the Panda Bear guy? I haven't seen him this entire game.
He died, remember?
He died? No, but he's back. He's resurrected.
Oh, have we resurrected him?
Yeah, we resurrected him, I think. All right, he's got to get in here. I really don't know why he's dropping there. He's dropped next to the hatchery that's farther away in the main. He's not upgraded Reaper speed yet. He's going to be able to control this ridge here. Uh-oh, these Hydralisks, you're looking the wrong way. Uh-oh, there's going to be a free 6 around here. Now he has to make sure that he's reloading all those. Oh, the Corsair count's getting really low. That means less disruption web, which ultimately means that they're going to be weaker in helping to assist the Reavers. Now you got that hatchery. This game's starting to turn around for Protoss. I really was not expecting 2 hatcheries to get killed anytime soon here. All right, now here is the critical moment. I think if they can get the ensnare off successfully, then there should be total domination. There it is. Damn. It's like they got some of that Nickelodeon gack on him. And now we see the split over here. Oh, this is it. Oh, man, this is so bad for the Protoss right now. That's it. He's going to clean this up. He's going to probably take out those shuttles, which can't retreat. Hell, he can sack the hatchery. And now he's just going to go ahead and take out these Reavers. Oh my god. Alright, well now he's just going to remake all those hatcheries, and I think, unless Protoss can deal with this somehow, and honestly I don't think Protoss can. This is one of the reasons why I rarely ever do this build. Now I think, well, he's going to go for the carriers. That's an interesting transition, not uncommon for this build.
Will the carriers make much of a difference? I mean, at this point of the game now?
Well, here's my take on it, is that, and this is, again, one of the other reasons why I'm not that fond of this build, is that just like, well, okay, with all those units morphing, I question if the carriers will do any damage at all. But also, you know, you can just get Dark Swarm and defend without too much trouble. Of course, the Corsairs can use Disruption Web, but Dark Swarm has a lot more strength than Disruption Web. Disruption Web lasts a very short amount of time, where Dark Swarm, first of all, it's really easy to Dark Swarm forever, and you just keep eating Zerglings. Protoss needs to secure this expansion. Hang on. So many Devours means that these Corsairs are probably going to be useless, especially when they're stacked together like this. They're going to have 9 Acid Spores on them in no time. Look how slow the Corsairs are going to attack now. And the carriers are coming out here. Zerg just needs to take out this Nexus in time. OversKy micros those Devours back. OversKy's playing really, really well this game. Yeah, you can just see he has tons of units. And now he's just going to flood the main. Really interesting game, but I think the Zerg is just outplaying his, his opponent. There's just nothing. Yeah, this is it. GG any second. There's just nothing Protoss can do to deal with that. Look, the interceptors are getting shot down right now. I don't know if this is even going to matter. You need a main base to survive, and he doesn't have that right now. This is not good. GG. Yep. Good game.
All right. That was actually a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, no kidding. It was pretty interesting.
OversKy definitely performed better than what we expected. I know a lot of us came in thinking old player, he's better in 2v2, like why, how's he going to do? Apparently he took advantage of his opponent's hesitation, his opponent's inexperience, and he won the game.
I think also, most of all, I think what he took advantage of was HaedOri's build order in that last game. I mean, that strategy, you could just see that OversKy knew exactly how to stop it. And I think a lot of it had to do with that there. I'm surprised, you actually don't see a lot of pro gamers doing that. And I don't get that. Why would you not utilize that ability? The Queen, most of the time, is useless. But in that one instance, I mean, that's when Ensnare is pretty good, in my opinion.
Well, he thought so too.
Yeah, so that's good. Well, not much else to say about that. First game was a loss just due to lack of clean play, and the second game was a loss for the Protoss just due to the superiority of the Zerg players' strategy and grasp of the game.
Now, so far, I've been doing interviews with players after each game, as you guys saw on GoTV.net. You can watch the interviews. However, today we are playing against Ace, and they are a national, it's not even a team, National Guard of Korea. They have lots of rules and regulations, so we really have to, I'm going to have to go back there and ask them after this if I could interview OversKy.
Hopefully they'll say yes. I really, really hope so.
Because if they say yes to him, then maybe they'll say yes to Boxer.
Hopefully.
Because that would be epic. That'd be amazing if I could interview Boxer. But I will find out afterwards. But just to give you guys a heads up, they aren't just a team. They are a part of, Korea's National Guard. Yeah. And there are lots of rules and regulations being that, I don't know, politics, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it because, you think it'd be better for their, their team, the more interviews they get. I don't know. We'll see, though. I think we're going to be winding this up here in a little bit. But stay tuned, guys. Don't go anywhere. Next matchup's going to be Daezang versus Snow. Thanks for watching.